Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative. Today we're here at the New York International Auto Show, the 2024 International Auto Show, and we're looking at the prototype 2025 Camry. There's no information on this model right here. Every other vehicle we're going to be kind of reading the boards, just kind of looking around. This one, we're not actually supposed to look inside and touch things. That's okay. This is a Camry. If you know what a Camry is, you kind of know what to expect. The year by year is just going to be little iterations. Maybe there's going to be a big jump, but as far as what a Camry is supposed to look like, this is exactly what it's feeling like to me. Not really anything different other than what I would normally expect, but that's okay. What do I have to say about this? This is a prototype car that we can't really look into. So we don't have the specs, we don't have anything. Coloring, the look of it, it's kind of just it's exactly what you would think of. They're trying to make it a little bit more angular. I know Toyota and Lexus share a lot of the same DNA. They're trying to give it that maybe 2010s aggressive, what was it, the Lexus RX look. And I mean, they're doing that here. But this is a prototype. This is not exactly what we'll get, so there will be little things. And wow, I remember, I've been in the industry for a while. This is the same type of lighting that they used to do with the Lexuses. So this is the 2025 Toyota Camry. Again, it's a prototype, so we'll see what we can see. I would recommend really looking this up online and getting your information there. Alright guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We're looking at the, what year is this? This is a 2024 Prius. But what is kind of catching my eye, and some brands, they'll do this every year. This one is a New York Yankees 2024 Prius. And I can appreciate that. Maybe I wish it was a little bit more streamlined, not such a giant logo on here, but I get why they do that. They want things to stand out, and it works out for me. From not seeing a Prius in a very long time, I kind of want to see exactly what this means to me. It's low. The car is lower than what I kind of remember a Prius being, and of course we all have that from the 2000s, the little boxy Prius, because they're trying to make it as aerodynamic as possible. But for this one, it just more looks like every other kind of EV or hybrid vehicle, because of course Prius hybrid, that they are the originators. We can actually look inside this car here. Let's see. I mean, what do you guys look for when you're getting a car? Is it going to be price? Is it going to be the interior? Is it going to be the comfort? Would you get literally a New York Yankees finish Prius? I know this is decal, so they're going to strip the decal, they're going to do something with it, but let's take a look back here. We're going to look at the vehicle sticker just so you can see what type of Prius this is. This one goes for $39,000 suggested. And let's look at the vehicle info. If this is not too long, if it's too long, we don't have to do this, because you can look up the 2024 Prius online. That'd probably be a little bit better. We're here just to kind of get the vibe of the cars and, well, create hundreds of videos for it. But anyway, guys, this has been the New York Yankees wrapped 2024 Toyota Prius. Guys, if you have any comments or questions, put in the comment section below. Don't forget I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here with Toyota. This is a model that I personally haven't seen before. This is the BZ4X. This is an electric vehicle. It goes for about $51,000, and again, I've been out of the auto industry and inside for a while. I have not been keeping up to date with a lot of like newer happenings. So I kind of would just want to go around, be like the casual fan, just looking at the angles of the cars. If something really catches my eye, then of course we're going to talk more about it. But this one here, owners receive 1 year of unlimited complimentary charging with EVgo. That's not bad, but where do you find EVgo? I know it's pretty hard to find, charging ports here in the city, especially branded for Tesla or whomever like the manufacturer is, but that's just kind of what you have to go with. My God, it is so tough to actually charge a vehicle here. I have an electric bike, so I can just kind of bring it up and charge that battery. But for car enthusiasts, car drivers, you're kind of stuck in where you can park. You have to have a garage. You have to have something that just, you can always leave it. Otherwise, you don't want to be in one of those lines that's just miles long just to charge your car for 60 minutes to get something out of it. I may sound like an EV hater, but it's just the reality of where we are, unless you are in like a purely suburban area where you can just have your own setup inside your own personal garage. That works. In terms of the look, it really is reminding me of again, Toyota, Lexus shares the same kind of DNA. It's reminding me of Lexus either now or maybe from a few years ago. That's okay. That's okay. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comments section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here in the Toyota section at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We're looking at a 2024 Corolla hatchback. Normally when I see anything from Toyota, it's going to be something that I've seen over and over and over again. The hatchback, though, is something that's always going to speak to me. It's always going to be the more functional car compared to a sedan, just because you're actually utilizing the space here. And I know that's nothing new. For me, I kind of like the Panda Dunk version of this, with the nice kind of sparkly black top, pearlescent sides, and actually I think I have a shoe that looks exactly like this. But again, it's functional. Living in New York City, it's kind of hard to gauge my interests on, I would say, the regular type of car. Sedan, for me, completely useless, doesn't utilize all the space just like that. If you like a sedan, if you use a sedan, if you drive a sedan, that's perfectly fine. It's just, for me, this is something that would be functional. Something I always say to myself is, I wish that I could go upstate a little bit more. I wish I could get more in touch with nature. And with this, I could, and I'm not really sure, because this may be an issue in itself, I could maybe use that top rack to put my electric bike on and kind of ride around with it and like be a little bit more in touch with nature. Not necessarily nature, but just out of the city vibes, because I think that would really help with kind of just I'm really focused on what a city needs. I'm a little bit forgetting about what the suburban person needs, and maybe what people completely out of that in the wilderness need in just the types of cars. Because for me, this is functional. A sedan, I wouldn't go for. I just think that is a little bit limiting. But what do you think? I know a lot of my viewers, you don't live in the city, so you don't have the same experiences that I do, but it's just kind of like what I've been pushed to by being here for about 8 years. And I mean, that's all right, isn't it? We all have our different outlooks. And again, this is why I make these videos, so you can enjoy this here. And don't forget, if you don't like the commentary, you can always mute it. It's all right. I won't feel sad. All right, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 International Auto Show in the Toyota section looking at the 2024 Toyota Crown. So I've said in previous videos, and not to be disrespectful to Toyota, but I know what a Toyota generally looks like, or at least I've known what a sedan from Toyota looks like in the Camry and the Corolla. We just looked at a hatchback, but I'm looking for something that's a little bit more eye-catching, more impressive to me. This one is the Crown. I remember seeing this, I believe, last year. It has, like, it's raised up a little bit. It's more than, it does call itself a sedan, but it's a raised higher sedan, and the kind of outline that I see resembles the, the Mustang Mach-E from Ford. It's just, they're trying to utilize more space. I know it's a much, much bigger car, but it's something, especially with this color too, extremely eye-catching, but I would say more functional. But again, what I would also say is a hatchback is always going to be more functional to me than a sedan. Living here in the city, I just kind of have to be honest for what I would use it here for. So whenever you kind of chop that off here, especially the sedan all the way over there, it's just unutilized space. But here, they're doing a little bit more because consumers across the nation, you are all into sedans, over hatchbacks, over crossovers, and that's just what it is. So they're trying to wean people away with this, and that's working. For me, at least that's working. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, sometimes these videos are going to be pretty quick. We're just going to go look at the car. If it speaks to me, then we're going to comment on it. If it doesn't work out, we're going to lay even more comments on it. But this has been Matt for Creative, and we're looking at the 2024 Toyota Crown, which, again, this color here, it's not blood red. I would say it's a shade under blood red if these colors are being rendered properly. But yeah. And you know what, one of my favorite parts about this is the rear, the single light going all the way, and it is just beautiful. Good job. This is something that I could see myself getting even though I'm not into sedans. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show in the Toyota section. We are here with a 2024 Corolla Hybrid. Now, if I had to say a car that I've seen many, many, many times before, it's going to be a Corolla. I really thought it was going to be a Camry, but the Camry's DNA has changed a little bit more than the Corolla's. The Camry has gotten a little bit more aggressive, I just have to say. But with this, these are lines, and I know the grille has changed, I know things have changed, but it's the same vibe of a car that I can remember from even, I know this sounds weird, but even from the 90s. It's a very safe car, it's medium to small size, it's a sedan. People like sedans, that's just what it is. For me personally, I don't find it functional. I think it's a waste of space not to have that kind of jut out like a hatchback, but this is a safe car. This one begins at about 30,000, I believe, or at least the sticker over there showed it at 30. But there's not much to say other than it's something that people like. They will come back to it. They'll see another iteration if it's a major jump or not, and they'll just go into it every single time. If I lived in the suburbs, if I was somebody who was just commuting regularly, for me, thank God I don't have to do that. But if I was commuting regularly in traffic, in highway traffic, this is probably something that I would get. And I do want to see, what is this? So this is a hybrid car, and the way this is built up, yeah, it's about 30,600. If you want to see what equipment it is, just pause. I hope that's not blurry, I'm sorry guys. Just take a look here. But it's a safe car. It's a very safe car. If you want to dip your toe into the EV culture and try it out without having to worry about going on a road trip and not having an EV station, you can use this here. Anyway guys, if you have any comments or questions, put in the comments section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and I'm not a Mets fan, but we covered the New York Yankees wrapped Toyota over there. So here again, we're at the 2024 New York International Auto Show, here in the Toyota section, looking at the first ever 2024 Grand Highlander Hybrid. I have to say, the way that the Yankees one was wrapped with the more traditional logo, it didn't speak to me. I'm a Yankees fan though, that's just what I am. What I think they've done a better job wrapping this with is the New York Mets kind of like color pattern that works out really well. But I love the Mr. Met. And okay, I can appreciate going to games, I can appreciate being in New York and just having this work out, but it just kind of, I think it speaks to me a little bit more. Again, this is a Grand Highlander hybrid. This is I guess a larger swoopy SUV from Toyota. Let's take a look at the inside here. And don't forget guys, these videos may go a little bit quick, but please pause the video, ask any questions. Either I will answer the questions or somebody else will, but let's look at that sticker. How much is this one gonna be? Well, not this one, because you're not gonna get the wrap. But this one is $60,000. $60,000 for a larger, we'll call it a larger SUV, hybrid SUV. Is that worth it to you now? Being in the city, I don't see the need. I see renting a car, I see getting something much smaller, maybe a little bit older. That price point, going into debt for it, is not something that I would personally choose to do. I've been in the auto industry for 15 years now. I've lived in the city and that's kind of pushed me in a certain direction. But for me, something like this at that price point, it just kind of is a little bit much. Anyway guys, that's just my opinion. If it differs from yours, I'm sorry, but this is just my outlook here. But again, we're looking at the vibes of the cars. We're not really getting deep into like the specifics because you can always find those specifics online. Anyway guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show with the spiritual successor to one of my favorite, what was it, the Scion TC? I forget what it was, but when this was Scion, I worked at a Toyota dealership. This is one of my favorite cars to play around with and to look at, and I always wanted one. When I lived in the suburbs, it made sense. Now here, living in the city for about 8 years, it no longer makes sense, but the style and the look of a small, quick little car, that will always work out for me. This is something that, regardless of whatever Mustang, Corvette, you know, whatever's out there, this is something that always, I think, would be a little bit more functional. I live in the city. It's going to be very hard to kind of work around with something with 2 seats. Really 2 seats. There may be, and I forget if they still do it, but they had like that kind of faux seating back there for insurance purposes. For me, that's just not gonna work out. As much as I want this car, as much as the footprint really speaks to me, it's something that I would personally not be able to get where I am right now. And by the way, if you're wondering about the pricing of this particular model, the way it's set up now, it's about $60,000. We just looked at another $60,000 car. That one is at least more functional, more space in there. This one, while I love the look and I love the red that they've chosen for this, it's not something that I can see myself getting anymore. But wow, isn't that beautiful. Again, this is the 2024 Toyota GR Supra, the successor, spiritual not, of my old favorite Scion. And what was that? It wasn't the TC, it was, I need to look that up. Anyway guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We're here in the Toyota section with the 2024 Toyota GR Corolla. I think I even looked at something, again, not like this performance package, but I looked at a Corolla with a hatchback. And it's just something that I find functional. I remember growing up, my friends had, what did they have? Oh God, I'm blanking on this. But they had hatchbacks. And even living in the suburbs, they were functional. And I know when we look at a car like this, we're not about the functionality, we're about the performance, we're about the aggressive look of it. But there are some times when people will get performance cars just to say that they have a performance car. That's okay. If that's what you want to spend your money on, that's perfectly okay. But what I would say is, having that extra space back there, that just makes sense. For me, a sedan is not something that I would really go for because it's just wasted space, unfortunately. But for something like this, maybe even in the city, it's something that I would get. I wouldn't get a performance package in the city because there is no need for that. You're going to be sitting in traffic all the time, every day, and very unhappy that you pay the extra for performance. So while this exists, and I would say go for it. And also, let's see how much this one goes for. $47,000, yes. Again, you know what you're getting when you're getting this. But if you don't need the performance, we have the hatchback. One of the first videos that I made over there, look is kind of, or at least the kind of Panda Dunk look is kind of here and there. But remember, there's a difference in price, there's a difference in functionality. That's perfectly okay. This just reminds me of growing up in the suburbs, having that performance car when I really didn't need it. But hey, the look is still there, the functionality is still there, and for me, at least it's not a sedan. Let's take a look inside here. And again, guys, if my viewpoints are a little different from yours, that's okay. It's just that I've been in a city for about 8 years. I don't see the need for certain things anymore that maybe a wide range of people across the country would need, but that's okay. Sorry, I'm dealing with allergies right now. They're killing me. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments or anything, put in the comments section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We've just moved on from the Toyota section, and we are now in the Genesis section. I would always, at least for me, personally, again, my own viewpoint, I would say that Genesis and Infiniti share kind of that swoopy nature to a car, but where I would say that Infiniti has this kind of maybe bubbly or bulbous look to it. And I know that can be a bad word, that can be a negative word. I think Genesis does that in a way that really works better for me. And in certain cases, and again, it's me saying this, in certain cases, it has that kind of like Porsche DNA. These end lights here, they resemble the Porsche SUV. For me, it does. The front of this car, in very particular, and the way that it swoops down, I know it's like a crossover vehicle here. It definitely reads the same way, just in my mind. But again, I'm kind of just like talking out of my mind here. We didn't even cover what car this is. This is the 2024 GV70. This is an all-electric vehicle, so we have that. So if you're on road trips, just be careful about that. Let's take a look on the inside of the car. Right? I don't know. It's the Genesis, for me, it works. I don't believe in luxury vehicles. I just don't think there's a functional point to them anymore. Living in the city, I would just get a inexpensive, mid-range, older car and kind of just like use it as a beater to maybe go upstate, go wherever. But if I had a lot of disposable income, I could see myself going for something like this. But I guess it depends. Do you want something, and hopefully it's not blasphemous to say it, that's a little bit of a copy of another brand, or do you want to go for the original brand? It really depends. I think Genesis being kind of like on the Hyundai brand, it's a little bit more of a functional vehicle because, you know, Hyundai does things well. But it really depends. What do you guys think about this? Oh my God, I just looked over at Lexus and I was like, that is a little bit not what I was looking to see from Lexus right now. But we'll get there eventually. Again, it's a little bit bubbly. It's a little bit of, you can see that bulbous curve, but it doesn't do that too much. And this grille, for me, it looks good. Anyway, guys, what do you think? Genesis, I think this kind of section here is something that's really going to be working for me, but we'll see with the other cars that we continue to look at. Guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comments section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We're here in the Genesis section. I've already said in the first video, I like the DNA that they have. It just kind of works for me for that kind of mid-range luxury vehicle. But let's take a look at this. This is the second electric car that we have here from them. This is the GV60, the 2024 Genesis GV60. And immediately when I was talking about this one kind of caught my eye. It has Porsche DNA. That's just what I see in the car, especially from this kind of swoop and these headlights. The rear of this car kind of resembles the Porsche SUV. Again, that's just me saying it. It could be something that I'm seeing. It could be that I have allergies, I'm a little bit tired, but I've always thought of it. I think Genesis does things really well. Is that one or two big screens? At least that one screen is on. I'm not sure about the other one. Now, in terms of a car being functional, I would always say, let's see, what is my tier of usability? My favorite car right now is the Ford Bronco, the real one, not the Sport. I like that kind of like interchangeable nature of the car, a little bit more rugged, you can beat it up. But after that, what does that mean I'm looking for? I'm not looking for a truck. I'm looking for something that's more kind of like a crossover, a smaller SUV. Sedans, for me, are completely non-functional. You're wasting a lot of space, but with these kind of crossover electric vehicles, you get this kind of like, not jut out swoop, but you get this swoop where you can still put things back here. You're not cutting off so much space as you would in a traditional sedan over there. But I think they've done this car service. They've done it really well. The coloring is beautiful, the lighting is beautiful here. And again, sometimes we'll be talking about the car in general, sometimes we'll be talking about the car in this specific situation where they're showcasing this. I think this is a beautiful looking car. And again, front end of this kind of had that Porsche DNA. Back end of that one kind of has that. This one though has almost like this butterfly wing look, and that does not share DNA with anything, at least that I can think of. Maybe I'm missing something, but I like it. It is its own thing, at least for here. What are you thinking about it, guys? Put everything in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show, here with the 2025 Genesis GV80. We've kind of been working up in a little way, smaller SUV, crossover-ish thing, electric, a little bit bigger. Now we have one of the largest ones here, and I'm just trying to think, do I like the look of this. The grille, the chromed out grille, for a kind of mid-range luxury vehicle, it works. But what I like better, and I know I'm splitting this here, is I always like the enclosure of an EV's grille. I first thought, okay, this is non-functional, it doesn't really work. There's no openings, because of course you need the openings here, you don't need them here. But this just kind of like, it's not chrome, it's a little bit shinier matte metal than this. In terms of just a luxury vehicle, it's not something that I feel is necessary for me anymore. I've lived in the city for about 8 years. I need something that I can just kind of beat up. I would get something inexpensive. I would get something that, you know, if you park it on the street, it may be gone one day. Hubcaps may be gone. But I remember growing up in the suburbs, parents had cars like this, I had cars like this, and they were functional. They looked good. It was kind of what you showcased to people when you were just out and about. Today, when I walk outside, it's going to be the way that I'm dressed. It's going to be what I'm riding, and it's, for me, it's like an electric bike. But when you're out in the suburbs and what you see is the car that you have to have that speak for you. The Genesis DNA, at least for me, I really like it. We've looked at the 70, we've looked at the 60. I love that color, by the way. But I think they've done a really good job showcasing these cars. I was looking at the MSRP. It doesn't have one right now, or else I would be stating that. But I think they've done a good job here. Sometimes we're going to be talking a little bit more about the specifics of cars. Sometimes we'll be just talking about the vibes of cars. Of course, if you want more information, you'll find everything online. This is just more about how the car is showcased here at the auto show. Does it work? Does it resonate to me? Is it, in the worst of cases, like BMW last year, which was kind of gross looking? They've done a great job of kind of making this its own little section here. And I know I cleaned something up here, but that's okay. I want you to get the vibe of the cars here. Light car to get your eyes focused on there. The kind of more, I wouldn't call it gunmetal, but gray, sparkly car in the back. This kind of like, is this green? I think it must be a very dark kind of green. But then it kind of moves into this like section over here where you can drink, you can wait in line, you can talk to people, you can just be a part of it. I think Genesis, the way that they did it this year and last year, they did a great job. So I know we've been looking at this car here, the GV80, but this is a little bit more of a commentary on what they've done as a section for the last 2 years. I think they're doing a great job at showcasing these vehicles. And I'm always happy kind of walking through the Genesis section because of, how well they do it. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We're in the Genesis section, and I've said this a few times, they are one of the most well done sections, so if you're coming to the show, definitely stop by here. They have like a little section to get maybe coffee or drinks over there. Their cars are really well presented, and again, I've talked about in other videos how much I like this. So let's look at the car that we have in front of me here. This is the 2025 Genesis GV80 Coupe. I like the previous GV80 here, but we're going to take a look at the ends just to see about how much more sleek this is, how much more sporty it is. No starting MSRP, unfortunately, so we can't really look at that. Oops, we're in somebody else's video, but let's see here. Let's see exactly how they're showcasing this car in comparison to the other one here. So we have a much swoopier back. We have a more traditional crossover or SUV backing here. And again, these are two different cars, but what I would say is what speaks to me the most, and where I don't run into people. Take a look at the rear end here. And take a look at the rear end here. Much more aggressive, much more, at least to me, not to be rude, it's just non-functional because you're cutting off it to get more of that roof line. Which, if you can see here, check out the roofline swoop on the Coupe. That's just what it is. Now, check out the roofline swoop on the traditional GV80. That's just what it is. Different types of vehicle, same, what do you call it, powertrain, just different look, different vibe. That's just kind of what it is. But I have been a major fan of these, and Genesis in general. As soon as I've stepped in here, they did a lot of similar things last year, but in the other cars that we'll be looking at, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, and I really think it is just going to work out. Let's get one more shot back here. Yeah, that's a good looking car. Anyway guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comments section below. Don't forget I'm on Instagram and Threads at M839. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We're in the Genesis section, which is one of my favorite like planned and lit sections here, looking at the Genesis Neolun, I believe that's how it's pronounced, concept car. So just hopefully not getting in their way. Let's look at a concept car. Concepts are things that we'll probably not see exactly the same way. Of course, we have like the suicide doors, completely non-functional, but beautiful to look at in terms of, is this purple or blue? I believe this is a nice deep purple here, so let's take a look at the inside of the car. Kind of like that, what is it, the yoke steering wheel from Tesla. I believe, and what this looks like, is this will come up and down. And while this is completely in your way when you're driving, what I would imagine this is it maybe comes down to maybe a third or a half, so you can see the relevant information and you can continue to drive. Now I want you to just hear me out here. I'm normally a fan of the color purple, and a rich, deep, dark purple, but for me the accents of this aren't really working out this time. The car itself is nice, but the finish on the inside, I would choose something different from the finishes. And that's a little bit disappointing because I've liked the color choices that they've made with their manufacturer, like ready to go vehicles. On this one, the purple tint is not really working. The back of this resembles like, not a hearse, but in terms of a concept car, it's not something that I'm really excited about. Again, these things will change completely. I might as well just see like a 3D render of a car. Again, my favorite cars have been the 3 or 4 that we've looked at over there, which are ready to be made. They just look nice. This one, yeah, it is giving me like Rolls-Royce vibes. Anyway, there will be more cars in the next videos that I'll be really excited about. But this, I just wanted to show you. This is the, no year, but 2000, oh no, Genesis Neolun concept car. Anyway guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comments section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We're in the Genesis section, which has been one of my favorite to look at sections here. Really well lit cars, really just presented in a really nice way. But here we are with the 2024 G70. This section is kind of made about where we are right now. Again, you get to have something to drink, you get to relax, you get to sit down, you have more calm vibes than you do in the rest of the space. Toyota, you have to walk through. Lexus, I don't believe you have a place to sit down, but Genesis, and I know I've said this in previous videos, they always give you a space to kind of just breathe, to sit and see the cars in a different light, and that really works out for me. But I know, we're talking about this car here, so let's focus back up. Starting MSRP is $41,500. For me, as somebody who lives in the city now, a sedan is completely non-functional, but I can still appreciate it, and I still understand that a majority of the country is going to go for something in this style. Let's take a look at the inside here first. Now let's just look at the roof line. It's a standard sedan. I would say there's nothing very much interesting about this vehicle in comparison to the other ones that we've seen, which have been more, let's say, small SUV, medium SUV, large SUV, coupe style of large SUV. I've seen this before. I've seen this for many, many, many years, and it's just not something that's interesting. But again, there will be vehicles, 3 vehicles in particular, that are exciting me and I'm ready to look at. But this is the 2024 Genesis GV70. Guys, if you have any comments or questions, put in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and here we are at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We've kind of just walked through all of Genesis, and we're going to be covering these 3 cars in like one little package here. But these are the most eye-catching, well-presented cars in the entirety of this place, and I think they do well at showcasing the different types of cars that they have currently and planned. But let's take a look. This is the G80 Magma Special. I don't know what year. We're going to call it maybe 2024, maybe 2025. Majority of these have been the 2024s. But I just want you to look. The color of these matched perfectly from here to here to here. The other cars we'll be looking at here in a sec. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful looking car. The G80, I believe, is something that they currently manufacture. I think it's a beautiful looking car on its own, but this color, first, in a color that I would never buy, that a lot of us would never buy here, it's eye-catching. And it does a really great job at working out here. The other 2 cars are, I believe, going to be more concepts, but we're going to take a look here. Just look at that. Look at the angles on it. This color really does a great job at capturing the angles with the light that we have available here. And what I just realized is we kind of do have these warm lights mixed in with the cool lights to kind of maybe accentuate this orange that we have here. That's a beautiful looking car. All right, first, this is a concept car, obviously. This is the Genesis X Grand Berlinetta concept, the essence of motorsport. Purely concept car. For me, a little bit too swoopy, not enough angle and functional angles as Genesis does with the rest of their line, but the color is really catching. The single LED front headlight thing works out really, really well. Regardless of if this is a car that I like or not, they've done, again, a great job at making it something that I care to look at. And of course, if you want more information, take a look online after this. We're not going to go deep into the specs or the hypothetical specs because we have no idea what it is. It's a concept car. But again, we're going from something that exists right now in a color palette that you've never seen or maybe you've never seen before to something totally off the wall to something here again as a concept. This is the GV60 Magma concept. And again, I do appreciate how Genesis has kind of made functional, let's see, they've made like the bubbly kind of airiness with functional lines really work out well. I would say their concepts are probably my least favorite in everything that I've seen here. Not a big fan of how swoopy and bubbly this one is. This one's a little bit too bulbous. The basically Rolls Royce over there is just not something that works out for me. But the cars that exist today, I think they've done a great job at this.
Portrait and landscape. All right, there's very nice.
So one more final look here at the trio. Great job, guys. I've enjoyed being in this section, and if you're coming here tomorrow on Media Day, or let's say down the line with your friends and family for the traditional days, you're gonna have fun here.
No.
Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment section below. I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We're here in the Lexus section. We just got done with the Genesis section, and previous to that the Toyota section, but this is something that caught my eye, and not in the best possible way. We're here with the 2024 Lexus TX 550H Plus, and there are some times when manufacturers will go aggressive with the grille. Like, I think we all remember BMW going really aggressive with their dual bean front grille. This is something that I'm not a big fan of. This, I believe, is the plug-in hybrid electric version of it. So when you have a hybrid version of a car, sometimes you don't need to do the perforated grills you can see kind of running down there. That's an EV, but they've done a good way at putting some texture on there. That's just your traditional kind of open grille that's necessary. This is just, it's boring me. It's really boring me. I know they're trying to insert some, black grills and grates inside here, but I just don't think it works out. This is going to be a car that everybody will want to get, let's say in the suburbs. I grew up in the suburbs. Everybody had a very large SUV or mid-size SUV, and they wanted it just to be functional. But in terms of the look, we can see it's kind of outlined here. It's a little boxy here, but that front end is not working out for me. Now, I know not everybody's going to agree with me, and that's perfectly all right. But when something catches my eye in a good or bad way, I just have to call it out. Now, in terms of just like being a functional car, you have a lot of storage space, you have 3 rows. This is going to be a people mover. This is going to be like probably a really useful, maybe Uber XL in the city, but unless you have a large family, unless you are carrying things all the time, I don't see these things as being overly functional. Living in the city, if anything, I'm going to get a crossover SUV, maybe a little bit older, not a luxury or mid-luxury car, just because, the car is going to be dinged up here. In the suburbs, you can take care of and nurture a car a little bit more, but here it's just not going to do that exactly to what I need it to. I know I was a big fan of the DNA of Genesis, but Lexus, for me, for seeing these cars for so many years, seeing their kind of like the aggressive grills that they had in the past, like over there, it's not really moving me in a direction where I have faith in this going forward. Unfortunately for me, just had to say it. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm dealing with allergies, so that's maybe what you hear. So sorry about that. But guys, I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We are now in the Lexus section here, looking at basically what was the standard car back for me growing up in the suburbs of Virginia. This is the 2024 Lexus RX 450H Plus, starting at $70,000. Basically everybody's parents growing up had either, I think it was, either a Lexus RX or something similar to that. It was just what people were going for. It was just the vibe. It had enough space to seat enough people. Like if you had 5 people in a family, you could definitely do that. You put your groceries in there. It was sleek enough at the time, maybe around 2006, where it just looked functional. It looked futuristic. It looked a little bit aggressive, but not overly aggressive where it wasn't something you wanted your family to be riding in. But here they are continuing. I've always found this to be like the heart of the Lexus cars that I've always seen. There's always going to be the variations. There's going to be like the prototype we'll be looking at. There's going to be the larger version of this. It's what I call it. But this is always going to be the standard, and I think it works out really well. They've done enough over the years to kind of differentiate it. I know that right now Toyota's kind of stealing the 10-year-old DNA from them. That's okay, they're under the same umbrella. But in terms of just this car being $70,000 here in the city, I would need something a little bit more functional, a little bit something with a smaller footprint. But that's just kind of what I've seen. I've kind of moved away from the large suburbs, but that's okay. That's just where I am right now. I know a lot of people are in a totally different space. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put in the comments section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at Matt8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and here we're at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We're taking a look at one of Lexus's prototype vehicles. This is the GX 550. We've looked at what I would call the standard. Growing up with an RX, everybody in suburban Virginia had this. Now we have more of like what I would consider the offshoots of this. This one is going to be much boxier in nature, and let's see what they did with the front grille. This is more of like the traditional Lexus, a little bit aggressive front grille with the headlights kind of like dipping down. I never know what to call it, but it always looks like a little face to me, just like all front ends of cars look like they have a little face. But this one gives me kind of like the Jeep Grand Wagoneer vibes, with as boxy as it is, but with some slight swoops. Let's see exactly what the end is, and what a lot of manufacturers are doing is having this giant end here. I think you know what? It's a functional car. You need to be functional. Don't waste your time with needless swoops. Just make it be as big as you possibly can. And I think they do a good job here. It's exactly what it needs to be. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comments section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We're now here in the Hyundai section, and this is one of the most kind of, at least in my mind, controversial looking cars or vehicles that we have here. It's really making me think of the Subaru hatchback that we've had from years ago. It's swoopy, it's a functional kind of pickup bed truck, and I'm like, do I want this? Do I think anybody would kind of go for this? I think it's different enough to kind of call back on like that 90s maybe nostalgia, early 2000s nostalgia, to kind of work out, especially with this eye-catching color here, which I think is the eye-catching color of this show. This is more of a reddish orange. We just came back from the Hyundai section where we have this kind of like traditional pumpkin orange, but then we also have orange accents kind of throughout. It's working as a sporty type of vehicle. It's showcasing to me that it is exactly what that is. But do I find it functional? Not really per se. I would need this to be like more of like a traditional small SUV kind of platform. But maybe, and I would say maybe, if I still lived in the suburbs of Virginia, I would see the need to have something like this. Because during, let's say, a majority of the year, you have places for 4 people, the driver plus 3 people. But if you needed to have a more fun area while still being functional, you still have that pickup bed. I don't know what to think about this. This is one of those ones that I can't really wrap my head around. So what I would say is, please tell me what you think about this vehicle. This is what it looks like in real life. And of course, this is more of a wide angle. It's going to warp this out a little bit, so please come and see this in real life. But I would say that's a more standard look at it, you know, with a much more like long focal length. I don't know, I'm trying to see what this looks like in camera. I like the look of it here rather than in person. I wish I was farther away, but it's looking a little bit too bulbous for me. But please tell me what you think. Put everything in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show, here looking at the Ioniq 6. Out of all the vehicles that we can take a look at here, Hyundai, we've looked at Lexus, Genesis, there are some things that catch my eye in a good way, some in a bad way, but this, as much as this is not like a very exciting looking car, and maybe you're thinking, okay, the Swoop is kind of like the old, what is it, the Mercedes C-Class, whatever the intro to Mercedes is. By the way, they are not here today, unless I'm completely missing them, just letting you know. But I like how minimal this car looks. It doesn't have a huge platform. It's not completely like, I'm not the biggest sedan fan, just saying, but it doesn't look like it's kind of wasting space. It does look a little bit bubbly and bulbous in real life, but your mind kind of changes it to look less bulbous and swoopy, if that makes any sense. I think this is a really well done looking vehicle. It does, at minimum, what you want a smaller sedan just to do. I'm a fan of it. I think people are a fan of the Ioniq, and I remember previous years I was calling it the Iconic. It's the Ioniq 6. I like the way they're presenting this, because look at this. This is your home. This is your car. You just kind of have that layout there. It looks like it's ready to be in your own home. And today we're talking about how things are kind of presented at the show, because this is going to be for press, like people like everywhere here today. But after these 2 days, it's going to be for the people who are just kind of maybe shopping around. Maybe they're auto enthusiasts, or maybe they're coming to one place to look at new cars that they want to purchase down the line. And I think this one just does a great job at just being something you could see yourself taking home. It's kind of like going to a little pet shop and seeing like this in the perfect situation. I like it. Great presentation, even though this is kind of out of the way. It's not right in your face. I like the way that this has been presented. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative. Today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We've been going around sections looking at particular cars, but this is one of the unfortunate parts where I have to go into a showcase that doesn't really work out for me, and that is the Audi section, and we might as well just loop in Volvo. In previous years, and I can't remember if this was last year or the previous to last year, BMW had like a very small showcase of maybe a couple cars. The lighting was terrible, it just looked generic, and this is unfortunately what they're doing here. I just came from the Genesis section where the colors of the cars that they chose were almost perfect. The lighting was perfect. The atmosphere that they had, you could get a little coffee, you could sit down, you could really appreciate the cars. It really did a great job. But here you have your kind of generic black, grays, and maybe a little bit of a color choice. It's not doing anything for me. I could see these at an Audi dealership, and I would assume that I would have them in better lighting at an Audi dealership. Completely uninteresting to me, completely walled off, at least to this point. I think maybe later on you can like walk inside and actually enjoy these a little bit more. But I think it's, when you have something so dead and boring, it's a disservice to the company itself. I would say at this point, just don't have anything. Don't have anything, don't come. And I know they're trying to fill up a spot. This costs money, it's giving money to the International Auto Show, but very uninteresting. I am completely uninterested in that, and even more to this. Now, this may just be because it's press day, but this is closed off. I mean, at least for press day, just let us in here. The most generic, just bright overhead lights. I'm a fan of spotlighting, but this is more just to say, if you come, if you want to display something, whether it be something in the automotive industry, but if you're showcasing something, do not let whomever is making this choice treat your products like this. Because if this is the first time you're seeing something, I'm like, okay, here's 4 more cars that I've seen maybe before, maybe something's new, I'm not really sure. And it's the very same with these ones here. A disappointment, honestly, but not saying the cars themselves are bad, the display of it is bad. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Hey there, this is Matt from Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. I just have to say, I just looked at a section which I thought was a complete disservice to the vehicles that are there. General overhead lighting, boring section. But then I look over here, and Polestar has this kind of general, very cool lighting, but they really match it well by having completely white cars or pearlescent cars, but the ground is also just like reflecting the light in a very, very good way. When you're presenting a product, a car, or whatever it is, you have to do it in the right way. And I think they do it here. It's a shining concept of what the cars are. And it makes me excited to look at them. If you want all the information, all of this is going to be online. But this is just a showcase of how to present the cars. And I'm really hoping this camera is like kind of properly showing this, just so that, like, it's white. It's white, it's eye-catching, it's bright. This is a section that I saw from across the floor all the way over here, and I wanted to go and take a look at it at the very least. So while I'm not really knowledgeable, okay, here's the Polestar 4 if that's what you want the information, but I'm not really knowledgeable of the vehicles themselves. It's just the way that they're presented here is miles better than the previous section that I just came from, which again, big disappointment on Volvo and Audi, but Polestar, I think they've done a great job at just, hey, catching my eye, wanting me to, after the fact, look up the information that I maybe missed from the Polestar 3 and the Polestar 4. Sorry, dealing with allergies here, coughing a little bit. Anyway, guys, what do you think about this? Do you think that they properly showcased this? I think they did. But guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. This is one of those cases where we're going to look at the section in totality, but I just want to say this is one of the disappointments that I already did a full walkthrough of the tour, and this place was so what's the opposite of eye-catching? It was just that. I completely missed it. The lighting is generic. The vehicles that they have are generic, but these are vehicles that are just going to be popular for a majority of the country. It's leading me to believe they don't need to do much just to showcase that they are here, rather than the other poor section that I just saw from Audi and Volvo. I would say they are brands that need to do a little bit more to showcase like their cars. People are going to know what a GMC truck is. Like, they're going to know that. Buick is literally just one car here, kind of like an afterthought. But let's see their GMC first ever Sierra EV. With the lack of the front grille, I mean, it's eye-catching. Unfortunately, they use my least favorite paint combination almost ever. It's something that kind of fades away in the background, almost like a primer that has been unfinished, even though it has a top gloss. This is just something that, if you are a fan of this, you don't need to hear me talking about it. I just want to showcase this, and if anything, you can mute this, and we can just kind of walk along and see exactly what these vehicles are all about. I would say the most interesting thing that we have here is the Hummer. I once thought the Hummer was going to be what the Cybertruck is at this point, but it's been kind of like an afterthought. I don't really see people talking about this too much, and that's unfortunate. The previous Hummers, hey, they were just pieces of garbage. But this, at least I thought, was going to be interesting enough to kind of just maybe be a meme, just be a little bit more in the cultural zeitgeist, if you want to say that. I would say a good looking car, a good looking kind of gunmetal that they've used on here. Good looking car, again, good looking car. But it's been tucked away in this area that's not properly lit. It just doesn't feel like, I missed it on the live walkthrough that we did, and here I'm kind of catching it on the tail end. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. And in certain cases, we'll be looking at things car to car to car. But when they come to like large areas, and I know I've said this 2 times in a video, where it's kind of just like general lighting, nothing's really being showcased, I'm going to cover these things as a whole, just as like a mini walkthrough, just in case you're curious about, let's say, what Honda is doing here at the show. And all the while, you may agree or disagree, I'll be commenting on how the cars themselves are presented. First, just why general lighting, not really overly bright, kind of just almost dim looking, with a bunch of white cars that match the same color of kind of like dirtied up white carpet. It is one of, I wouldn't say the most disappointing, because Audi is here with their terrible layout. It is a disappointing looking layout. It doesn't showcase the cars. It's just kind of generic. It's just kind of there. And that's just a little bit disappointing. What Toyota did up front, it's just something eye-catching. It's something that you want to look at every single car. What Genesis did in particular, they did a great job at just like showcasing each car, and you want to take a look at it on its own like merit. But these ones, not to be, oh my god, actually that's something I'm interested in. The little Honda bike, I would ride that. I would buy that and ride that and carry that around with me. But for the cars, I'm not a big fan of just the way that they are showcased. We will carve out Acura here in a second, so let's not look at that. Let's walk back into, I guess, the cars that we see everywhere. Civic is a staple. They don't need to do much to sell a Civic. The Civic will literally sell itself. The same with the Accord. We know what an Accord looks like. We know what it is. We don't really have to spend too much time on that. Is this another Accord, or is it just me getting lost here? Yeah, another 2024 Honda Accord. Maybe we have a sportier version of the Civic, I believe. Yeah, Civic Type R, 2024 Civic Type R. So here's a car that they are putting on a pedestal. They are showcasing it, and still they do it with dim light. Dim light, a not really eye-catching color on this car. I would really call these failures, because look at what we have next to us. Honda in a most boring general lighting compared to Kia spotlights, different floor color from the color that's around, like the color of the car. That's a great job at showcasing your vehicles. This one, maybe Honda doesn't need to do much to sell their cars. Maybe they will, again, sell themselves, but disappointing in the least for, oh my God, somebody's riding. Oh, they're riding it. That is so cool. I think somebody may have fallen too. That is so... Okay, that's something that's interesting me. I would, oh my God, I want one of those. I have an electric bike. It's like a big, bulky electric bike, but where do you put your feet though? Oh, there's like little pegs that you can put your feet on. Hey, you know what? Maybe that's interesting enough to bring you to the Honda section. And I would say if you were a family, if you're something who's just an auto enthusiast, yes, that's going to be enough for it. That's so much fun. I was wondering why that this was like kind of coned off, but that's interesting. But the cars themselves, not really much to think about. Here we have a New York Jets one. I would call it a little uninspired. And I know this is a very negative take on Honda's showcase in general. This has nothing to do with their cars. This is all about the showcase that they chose to do for a pretty large footprint. They've kind of made it very generic and bland and very quiet, honestly. We will be looking at the others. We've done Genesis, beautiful looking. We will do Infiniti, a great environment to be in, even though Infiniti vehicles are not my favorite. And then of course we'll do Subaru. Subaru always does this kind of outdoorsy look. So we're going to be doing all of that. Anyway guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We're here in the Kia section, which again, we've been talking about lighting, we've been talking about presentation. They're doing a great job at generally presenting their cars. This is the all-new Kia K4. And unfortunately, they're using one of those color palettes that I really don't like, that looks like unfinished primer, but at least we have an example of the car and maybe something with a green tinge to it, which I think works out. Let's take a look at the car. Please watch your step. I'm assuming I'm allowed up here, but that's okay. We'll see. Those brake pads. That's a little bit of a showcase. Things that are eye-catching, of course, attract me, just like they do everybody else. And in terms of having like this black background, this kind of like spotlighting, maybe this color is not the most terrible color to showcase your car in. In other environments, it can look pretty bad, but I think it's been pretty good. I would not purchase this color ever to drive it, but to showcase a car, yes, it works. Just like they had the kind of Halloween orange over there by Genesis, we're not buying that, but we are definitely looking at that and feeling good about it. Now, are these the same or different? Different wheels for sure. Well, I'm getting bad at this. Also, it's been a long day and I'm tired. Also, allergies.
What I want to find out is, has Kia done the K4 right for 2025? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this GT line and find out. Right off the bat, you're going to see Coupe, Porsche,
Anyway guys, we've been looking at the all-new Kia K4. If you have any comments or questions, put it in the comments section below. Don't forget I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt from Creative. Today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show, and we are here in the Kia section. I totally forgot what this name is. This is the Kia 2025 Sorento Turbo Hybrid SX Prestige all-wheel drive. If you make me say that many words again, I swear to God. Anyway, this is how you showcase a car. If you care about the car, if you are a brand, you're going to light it the way you do here, but you're going to put it on a giant LED panel and just let it do its thing. This reminds me about what Subaru does, even though there's not the same type of movement with their kind of nature look, but they've done a beautiful looking job at having your background, having your vibe. This is definitely something for people who really maybe not want to go in the wilderness, but maybe want to go upstate and hike. But look at the way that they are just showing the movement of the car, even though we are perfectly stationary. I think that this is an amazing job. You can't showcase every single car like this, but it's I think this one is warranted. If you want people to look at this car, if you want people to be interested in it, you'll put something like this, which will resonate really well on video. I imagine this will do well when we put this up. And they'll have questions. They'll look it up online. They'll see if it's right for them. But they're showcasing this in many different, like at the beach, in wintertime, in general wilderness. It's just functional to show a car, because you can't drive this around. You can't create something that moves, but here you can, kind of. It's like being on the volume. Like the Disney piece that they use to make a lot of their content now. Great job. Great job at showcasing this car. I'm going to be looking more into this after the fact, and I believe you will too. Anyway guys, if you have any comments or questions, put in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show, and we're here in the Kia section, and we just looked at one of the best presented cars over here. I think they did a great job, but this is something that reminds me of, I think it was the Ioniq 6 or whatever it was, that showcased it by a home. And I think it's really well to do having a car that looks like it would be a color that you would purchase next to a warm environment. If you're able to sit down and just enjoy the vibe of having this, you can actually more realistically see that you would purchase this car. By the way, if you want to see the information, that's the information. Pause right there. But this is a kind of more boxy look, futuristic look that I am looking for in my cars, in my vehicles, in SUVs, whatever you want to call them. But again, putting them someplace like this, it really makes me feel like, hey, I could see myself having this. I could aspire to this. Great job, Kia, at just like making this at something that's attainable and just, yeah, wantable. Here's like another showcase. Maybe it's not really there, but this is a perfect showcase at maybe having the same thing outdoors, and I think it works out really well. But yeah, the EV9, I think they've done a great job, because we'll take a look at the vehicle here, and then we're going to look at the warm, nice environment that I have it sitting next to. Perfect. Really, really perfect job. I really like that. Anyway, guys, look at that. It makes you just want to sit on your porch that you don't have and just have a mocktail. But yes, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put in the comments section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We're here in the Kia section where they're doing a lot with like these LED panels to convey movement. We just came from another one over there, which is more like, let's say, a wilderness or like weekend going upstate type vehicle, and they want to showcase it at the beach, in winter, in the wilderness. Well, here we have the 2024 EV6 GT all-wheel drive, and they're kind of showcasing the same thing, but instead of being like in the wilderness, they're trying to showcase fast movement. And I think it does really well. And you'll see here when this light panel goes back to what it was showing, but they're showing this in a kind of generally attainable color. A lot of people may get this. I'm a big fan of this because it's almost like a lighter gunmetal. I think this is a really great color choice because you have this and then you have the warm kind of LED panel that you have here. And if it wasn't clear, this is a, well, let's say a see-through panel. You can see through it to the other side, so it does look futuristic. It's not just a dead panel cutting you off from the rest of the show, but I think it's a great job. I want to see what the reflection looks like on this side when it goes to its movement again. So we're gonna wait here a sec. Yes. Look at the reflection in here of that movement by the car. This is just another great way of showcasing a vehicle. You want to convey movement, you're doing that for sure, but you can't actually move things around. Of course not, because we're here at an auto show. But great job, guys. I really like what you've done here. If you want more information, check on their website. But today we're checking out how things are showcased, things that catch my eye in a good or bad way, and this definitely is one of those things that did catch my eye in the right way. All right, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Let's take a look at the interior of this here. Not bad. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 International Auto Show. There are times when we showcase particular cars. There's some times when we showcase like general venues. Subaru is not a car that I would personally buy for myself, but the showcase that they have here is something that I kind of want to talk about in a whole. And it's been kind of the same thing for the last few years, although last year I feel like it was more enclosed. But we're going to take a look at their kind of like Subaru wilderness brand. Maybe you're going to go and take this car upstate over the weekend and just kind of be with your family, take your dog for a walk. And I think they do a great job at just kind of like showcasing all of this. So this is all physically here, physically trees. Although we do have like this nice light panel that we'll get to here in a moment. But I always think that Subaru does a good job at just showcasing the vibe. Whether you're in media like I am, or you're here with your family, or you're just an auto enthusiast, walking around here, you're kind of like, yeah, okay, there's mud on the car. This is like a functional car. This is what I could do with it. It can go up this incline. I don't know much about the brand itself other than that old Subaru hatchback that I think my friend had in like the 90s. It's functional. This is what we have here. It's really making me feel like, hey, you can drive this in the snow. You can drive this regularly. You can be active. You can drive this in the mud, in the rain. And I think it does really, really a good job at just having, well, first, a usable car all messed up. Here's the idea of a perfectly presentable, good-looking car, but functional enough to get you driving. And also, here's one key thing. Electric vehicle, you're in the wilderness, but they're giving you the idea that you can still charge your car, because sometimes when you have an electric vehicle, you worry about not being able to find a charger. Here they're kind of being like, hey, you can find it. Not necessarily saying where you can, but kind of giving you peace of mind while you're kind of looking at the vehicles. So they have an association here with the National Park Foundation, largest corporate donor to the national parks. Nice. Here's another thing I really like. Subaru loves pets. They have like a nice little pet section here. You can pet the puppies. Maybe you can adopt them if you want. It's a cute little vibe, and it shows if you want to be a wilderness person, if you want to hike by yourself, maybe with friends or family, you can do that. But if you like pets, you will get one of these just to kind of be more outside with your dog. Maybe your cat doesn't want to go outside, but if you have a dog, they're like, yeah, don't forget about them. You can also have fun with them too and take them on adventures too. This is what, oh, here's like the, that full movement of that LED panel. I mean, good that it's safe, but look at this. This is like one of those immersive light panels that I think will do a good job when they are presenting a car up here. And sorry if you can't hear me, I know this is like pretty loud, but it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be immersive.
Brings them closer to all that they love and invites them to discover more.
You can kind of hear like that wilderness outside too. I really like what they've done. And here's that LED light panel. When they have like the snow, they have the snow or kind of like wilderness. Oh, look at that, that's beautiful. This is how you showcase your cars, or it's lightning bugs. And now it's starlight. This is just one of those places where I have to showcase, properly showcasing a brand. Again, the individual Subaru vehicles I'm not very familiar with. Oh wow, they're actually showcasing something here. We're gonna sit and look here for a sec.
Introducing the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester. Look what love can do.
Hello, New York! Welcome to the unveiling of the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester. We're so glad we can show this off to y'all here today. Introduce to some and, you know, reintroduce to others. All the different changes that we made for the 25 model year. First and foremost, the Forester was introduced in 1997, and it quickly became that leader in the crossover category. You are looking at the 6th generation of the Forester.
I did not expect the unveiling to be white when I was standing here. It is a beautiful showcase of the car. Again, they know how to sell their brand. Whether you want a Forester or something similar to it. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put in the comment section below. I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're looking at the Porsche section here. Just gonna be a quick little walkthrough of the vehicles that we have here at the show. The 2024 Cayenne S Coupe, the 2024 Macan Turbo Electric. We're all on the electric kick right now. And finally, the 2024 Panamera 4. I've talked about general lighting and having like maybe a small footprint, but at the very least, they've chosen a nice backdrop to kind of make that brand feel like something different and separate from the rest of things. They've chosen purple again, which is the second time that a major company has used purple and like kind of like the vibe. The Genesis also used purple for the interior of their cars, and I thought that was okay. I'm a big fan of a deep royal purple. A lighter purple is not something I'd go for, but it kind of feels like dusk, or maybe even sunrise, which is probably what you want to associate this brand of like the Macan with. But I think they've done a good job. You have this kind of general lighting, but at least you have all the vehicles on their own little like pedestals and platforms, so it doesn't feel like they're being melded into the floor. They're doing a good job with what they have here, and I'm happy. Let's take a look a little bit closer to the Porsche Macan.
Well, from our perspective, it's not. There's no difference whether you're incursioning or someone's incursioning into you. Just hey, there's a distance gap that's lessening on the left side.
Okay, because what I want to
Definitely has that Porsche DNA, but different enough. Oh, there's a pigeon. Somebody let a pigeon inside. Anyway, they've done well with the space that they have here, so I at least have to applaud them on that, while having, again, a small footprint. Alright guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We're here in like the more luxury cars, but maybe they only have a model or two, so we're going to kind of quickly walk through. We're not necessarily going to talk about the specific models, but this is just kind of a showcase of the cars that are here, just in case you want to visit, if you're part of the media, or if you're just here with your family or an auto enthusiast. These are just kind of what we can expect. We start here with two Bentley models, and then we go on to Karma, which reminds me, it's like a throwback from what, the 2010s. I did not know, I knew that they came back, I just haven't really like looked too much into it. I was always a big fan of the Karma DNA and the vibe, honestly. And when they came out with that kind of chromed, that was just very, very like, that felt right to me. This brand is not here yet. They still, remember, this is still media day, so they can always come and they can always add things later on. What is this? Is this P-I-M-A-C? No, it's an R. R-I-M-A-C. Rimac. It reminds me of a Lotus. And it's Michael Strahan. All right. So while we're here looking at the fancier cars, the supercars, let's see. Oh, this is like a little bit separate here, but let's see exactly what. Oh, this is next to the Porsche.
So it's like one of those things where it's not just.
So you're always going to see people. You're always going to be having something to look at here. That's fun. I was wondering why there's so many people in that area. This, and I know you've seen this on the live walkthrough, this is my favorite car, I think, vehicle in the entirety of the show. I think it's 12 cylinders, and it's just so impressively kept, impressively made at the time. I have to look this up later on to see what exactly this one's about. That's pretty sick. All right, let's continue on. We kind of got distracted. We're gonna go back. Rolls-Royce, never a big fan. It's just there. It's impressive. You have money when you have it, but not something that I'm generally into. And there's the Lotus that I was kind of referring to, because the other one's kind of like, what's that, McLaren DNA, the Lotus DNA. This is kind of like what we have. I do always imagine a Lotus in this type of color, an eye-popping, saturated, maybe yellow or orange. Wow, that's a Lotus too? That's okay, that's a little bit different. I'm actually feeling that in the color too. It's pearlescent red? That's not the lighting, that's just in the... that's interesting, I like that. Lamborghini, of course, Lamborghini. I think this is more about the dealerships themselves than the cars. They're just like showing that they're here, that they're present. And I mean, that's all they need to do. These will sell themselves. The people that want them will be purchasing them. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put in the comments section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt from Creative, and today we're taking a look at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. And in front of us in the Chevy section is the 2024 all-electric Police Blazer. This is interesting because maybe this is something we'll see here in New York City depending on what kind of contracts are sold, or maybe this will be in other towns. But if you want the information, here's what we have. This is all electric, so I could see this working more in cities. So if you're in the police force, this is where you're sitting. If you've done bad things, this is where you're sitting. And my God, it looks perfectly plasticky and like hellish back there. Not fun. But again, actually, that makes more sense. You're going to want the seams, you're going to want anything kind of open and comfort for the people riding up front. But for the back, you want it to be functional. You don't want things that could be ripped out. You just want it to be a place for people to sit. And I never thought of it, but that actually makes sense. You want it to be simple and not something where you care if it's torn up, or something that can be easily torn up. So yeah, in the back here you have other functional things that you would use as somebody in the police force. I don't know what that is, except for those, the stop sticks. I think those are the things you roll across the street to kind of stop people who are speeding. But this is interesting. It's like, I don't know. So this is based on the Blazer. I don't know much more about that. I'd be kind of curious to see what other things have been added to that, other than the kind of different seating that we have back here. Of course, the, what do you call it? The bumper guard? You know what I'm talking about. This, the ram guard. An interesting vehicle. I'd like to see it in practice. Maybe I'll look up some videos and see exactly what people will be doing with this car. I'm really curious to see about that back seat. I know it's not really hugely relevant, but is that just kind of like a plastic panel? Or is that kind of like cushiony something? Interesting to me. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comments section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're walking by the Chevy section. We've already looked at a point key car here at the 2024 International Auto Show, but the rest of this is just going to be kind of a vibe. I'm sorry guys if you can't hear me, but there's some music blaring. It'll go away in a moment here. But sometimes we're going to be looking at cars in particular, and in other cases we're going to be looking at cars as kind of like a general brand and a general vibe. We've looked at some disappointing looking areas, and I almost thought, okay, Chevy is looking a little bit kind of generic right now, but these are cars that literally sell themselves. These are functional automobiles that you don't need like shiny, flashy things to kind of catch you. These will catch you by either the functionality of the vehicles themselves or the price tag. Like that's all it's ever going to be. So while for me it looks uninspired and a little bit dim and a little bit like they're not putting these on specific pedestals, this is a volume business for this brand. They're just showcasing things in general, and they're trying to get you to buy as many as possible. So of course you're gonna have so many different models, so many different variations, because they're trying to catch everybody. They're trying to catch all and just make this work for everybody here. I mean, while there are some key points like this interesting looking truck here, sporty looking truck, being in the city, either things will be functional or they're just not going to be functional, and I'm just not going to even like remotely look at them. I've seen things that are showcased really well. By the way, if you're coming to the show, look at the Genesis section, check out the Infiniti section. I think those are two really well done areas. That does remind me, I have to go back there to kind of take a look and check that out. But again, this is just part of a mass business selling as many things as possible. So there's no need to like point and showcase things. That's perfectly okay. That's all right. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, or if you're interested in more Chevy information, put everything in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. See, here we have the Corvettes. I see Corvettes on the street. I saw them a lot more in suburban Virginia, but they're here. These supercars are just no longer like making me feel much of anything. They're just kind of like something I would maybe consider even a burden here in the city. I'm much more about being sleek and functional, and like if there is space, it is space to be utilized. I know I'm talking random about supercars like they actually are functional pieces, but hey, those are just my thoughts. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 International Auto Show. We're here in the Ford section. There will be times, like look in the other videos, where we look at specific vehicles, but just kind of like Chevy, which is kind of like, it's a company to sell as many vehicles as possible. We're going to be kind of walking through here and looking at these in like one encompassing thing, one brand, one vibe, one everything, except for the Bronco. I know I've seen the Bronco, there's not much been changed with it, but we're going to look at that specifically. But for the rest of these pickups, living here in New York City, it's not something I'm interested in. It's not something that's functional to me. But back home in the suburbs of Northern Virginia, these are functional pieces. These are for the landscapers that work on the yards, who need a lot of things to carry their workers, and the products that they're using to, like, I don't know, what do you call it, enhance the landscape, cut grass, whatever you need to call it. And they're functional. They are functional vehicles, but for me, I don't see the need for them. I grew up with a Ford Explorer. We have one here. This is the 2025 Explorer Platinum. Kind of functionally unchanged, still 6 rows. I remember using all those rows. I remember putting those seats down, making it be like a more functional transportation for my equipment, and that was perfectly fine. But these are things that don't need to change much because the concept is there. They are just, we will look back at this in a sec because this is one of the most beautiful things that I've seen here at the show. But outside of that, there's not much that is new. There's the Mustang brand, which they have kind of kept as their little sporty sedan. They've kind of offshooted it with the EV market, with the, the Mach-E. That is great. But again, not much changes year per year. We will be looking at this. It's gonna have its own dedicated little spot. Don't worry about that. But right now, it's more of like an enhanced little walkthrough just of the area, just so we can kind of get the idea. And sorry, I have a little bit of allergies, so that's why I'm a little bit slow to talk. But yeah, not much has changed. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show looking at one of my favorite vehicles. We've taken a look at the rest of Ford. We're now here with the 2024 Bronco Heritage. This is one of the cars where you know what this is. This is a very high in-demand vehicle. First, the Sport, I don't consider that a Bronco. That's just its own thing, separate, disappointment. This is why you get a vehicle. But the way that they're coloring this, the way that it's showcased, this is just beautiful. Like, look at this. You have this kind of like light, maybe beachy feel to it, but then you have this aggressive red Ford badge, which is eye-catching, and I think really does it well. That could easily have been just like an eyesore on this entire vehicle, but they've done it in such a way that just kind of, it works. You can see the Ford performance, you can see it kind of like everywhere, and it just kind of speaks to you on what exactly this is. Let's take a look in the window and see exactly what they have. Of course, there would be like this leather interior or faux leather interior, which I think is really, really well done. This is the vehicle that I would get. Maybe a different variation from this, but I think they've done this so well. Let's look at the back here. Like, this is a color that I would never have thought to have liked at all, but what it really reminds me of is kind of like, you know, metal panels, living on the beach, living somewhere in California. The vibe of this really works, and I think whoever designed this to look like this has done a great job. Look, even a little more red accents on the inside. I love it. I personally love what people are doing with the Bronco, and I love the Bronco like as its own thing. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put in the comments section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and here we are at the 2024 New York International Auto Show looking at one of my favorite vehicles, but in one of my favorite variations of that. So for me, look at these side, like these door panels, not panels, like door, I don't even know what to call them. They're completely non-functional for me in the city. But if I lived somewhere else, if I wanted to keep things as minimal as possible, I would go for it. They are just, first, they're here for safety, but they're just kind of like, they're there but not there. There's another Bronco, I believe, somewhere else that has the doors off it. And okay, that may be something that you want, but that's not really the safest way to drive. But just look at this. Also, how do you open this? You pull. Oh, you pull. I love it. It's so lightweight. It's so there but not there. I think this is such a great thing. If I lived, let's say, in a more wilderness environment, or it was warmer more often than not here unfortunately, I would go for that. Because the fun that it looks like you're having, but still the functionality of being safe, it is so nice. It is such a beautiful vehicle. The green also kind of gets you in that wilderness state of mind. Yeah, this is something that I would probably get for myself. Unfortunately, again, not in this area. It doesn't work, but wow. Definitely come and see this one in person if you come to the show, either for the other day of Media Day or for, like, you know, the general enthusiasts. I think it's a great choice. I'm not going to be looking specifically at the rest of these, but they have the Raptor version. They had, we did look specifically at that one. That was beautiful. Just, the Broncos are a really good, not plain canvas, but a really good canvas to kind of like make the vehicle your own by adding things or subtracting things like doors. It's just nice. Anyway, 2023 Bronco Wildtrak starts at $39,000. I believe, oh, the Windtrak is $60,000. It's going up there a little bit. And then look at all the things that you can add or subtract on here. That's beautiful. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show, and we are here in the Nissan section. So in some videos we look at one car or a few cars in particular. Today we're kind of looking at Nissan in general, just like we kind of did for Chevy and Ford. And it's just because for me, a lot of the cars that I see are things that are not necessarily new to me, but I kind of want at least you to still be able to see it and kind of enjoy it. And if you choose to come here on the other day of Media Day tomorrow or on the regular days, at least you can kind of get the vibe of what is coming out here. And while I for a moment did a quick walkthrough and thought they had nothing new out, there is a new vehicle that we will cover, the Nissan Kicks, by itself. Again, for me, Nissan is a brand that I never really got into. I never saw the functional need for it. If I thought of a truck, I would think maybe Ford or Chevy. If I wanted like a vehicle, I would think more maybe of like maybe Kia or Toyota. But this is something that could work here in the city, this kind of like half and half, like very small SUV. So we'll definitely take a look at this here. But let's walk around. I just want to make sure I'm not in anybody's shot because I think they're about to present something here. But last year they had falling from the ceiling like this beautiful like either snow effect or what they call just blossoms, which I can see a blossom tree somewhere around here, so that kind of worked. But the area is well lit. I think they're presenting the cars in the best way that they should. I'm very happy with that. But for me, it's just not a brand that I was ever really into. I had friends who had Nissans, who aspired to get, let's say, the Nismo here. But for me, I just was not that type of person, so I can't really talk much to it, unfortunately. Good looking car, bad color choice for me. Good accent color though. Red is always going to be a nice accent color. Sorry, I'm just dealing with a little bit of allergies, so it's a little bit hard to like talk over and over and over. We're almost done here with like a 4-hour set, but I did just want to show you Nissan as a section. And again, they're doing a great job at showcasing the models that they have. Whereas for me, you can always find more information online. I would say that, and if my opinion differs from yours, that's just what it is. Anyway, guys, if you have any comments or questions, put in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We're here with the all-new Nissan Kicks, in plural, not Kicks in general. And while I'm not the biggest Nissan fan in general, this is something I could see functional for the city. I've moved here 8 years ago, and my taste in vehicles has drastically changed from what is needed in like a suburban environment to what is now needed in a city environment. And this is something that I could definitely see. I love the color that they've used here, this kind of like dark, not gunmetal, but sparkly pearlescent dark gray, but the red accent really makes it. And I really like the way that they've kind of showcased this on a faux basketball court with little pigeons kind of around, with the music around. this is a great way to showcase the vibe of a vehicle, and yeah, I think they've done it really, really well. I think a major thing is this giant LED panel. You can kind of move through the city, even though you technically can't move the car. So if you position it like this, it's almost as if the car is kind of like moving towards us here. And well, you can see another kind of lime green color. That is pretty eye-catching. And I do like the idea of this smaller SUV. Still room for 4, but with space for groceries. If I ever was to get a car again, it would most likely be something in this vein, and I think that would work out. You can't have an oversized SUV unless maybe you're an Uber driver. You can't have a sedan because that's just wasted space for me in general. But yeah, the all-new Nissan Kicks with intelligent all-wheel drive. All right, guys. If you have any comments or questions, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and here we are at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. We finally hit Infiniti after missing it 2 times doing the full round, and we're here with the 2025 QX80. A beautiful car. By the way, if you come here to this area, Infiniti's area has always been my favorite year after year. You get to kind of sit down, enjoy, relax, and then you go back into like looking at the beautiful cars that they have here. I don't want to interrupt his little presentation, but let's just take a look. So this is just, again, a look at the car individually, which I think Infiniti has done well about making the lines more aggressive, a little bit less bulbous. But if you come to the show either on press day or the general days, this is the area to kind of come to. It's right smack in the center, and I've missed it because I've wanted to save this for the very last part. But I think they've done a great job at just showcasing this vehicle in particular, and there are others. Everybody here looks happy, they look relaxed, and they look like they're actually ready to learn about the vehicle. So, on presentation, good job, Infiniti. Anyway, guys, I think this may be the last video for today. We have another day that's coming here. But guys, if you have any recommendations on what to look at, what's missing, it may be coming already, but we have a lot to dig through and to create. But thank you guys. If you have any comments or questions, put in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. And while nobody's looking, let's see if we can poke our head into the interior. Alright guys, that rounds it out. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're here at the 2024 New York International Auto Show. And we've done these specific looks at cars. We've done the overall walkthrough, but a live walkthrough. But I think right now we're going to do the general ultra wide angle, just walk through, just so we can kind of get the vibe of things in maybe like a more encompassing ratio, because I feel like that kind of live was a little bit tight. So yeah, let's see exactly how things are. So we start here in the Nissan section where they are kind of, well, they've unveiled, or they're unveiling the all new Nissan Kicks, which is Kicks in plural, not kick. And they've kind of made it like a small SUV that can kind of function in a city like New York. So I looked at it and I was like, that's a very functional vehicle. That's something that could like really work out for me. Now, as we kind of like go through here, Ford, we have all the Ford trucks, we have the Mustangs, but what's more interesting to me here is the Bronco. The Bronco is my favorite vehicle. This kind of color palette that they did over here, this blue with white, is called the Heritage. It is one of my favorite looking cars, even though it's something maybe I probably wouldn't get for myself, but if I lived in another type of life, it's something that's extremely eye-catching, and it's a great job. They did a great job at making it something that's visually appealing. So if you guys are here, come in for either the other media day, which is tomorrow. You'll probably have the same type of experience that I'm having. But if you're here for like the regular days, you're just an auto enthusiast, you're here with your family and friends, it's just gonna be, it's gonna be probably about the same. Oh, and I literally just realized, I thought I was done with all the individual shoots. I forgot about Infiniti. I have to go back and shoot Infiniti. But we're gonna do that after this full walkthrough. Again, we're passing by things. If you want like the more specific videos, then we do have them on all the brands. And we will have them on Infiniti, I promise. Now, I do have commentary on a lot of the brands. Nissan, I think they showcase the cars in a really good light. Ford, they kind of have a blue backdrop, so they always have that kind of classic blue Ford look. Chevy, to me, looked a little bit uninspired, but they are a brand that they sell everything on the planet, so they don't need to showcase the car. The cars will showcase themselves. And I'm sorry if this is a little bit loud, but this is just, they're doing like a little presentation here.
Charging. That goes for our Blazer EV as well as the Equinox EV. And the Blazer, the Equinox, and the Silverado EV are going to
So in this section here, they have like the kind of supercars. Not something that's really interesting to me. It's more kind of partnered with the dealerships. Porsche had like a very small footprint this year, but I thought they did pretty good with the spacing that they had. At least they put things on pedestals, and it's not just kind of like a generic mess like Audi, which we'll get to back in a moment. Subaru was one of the best here. They showcased the entire brand. They're showing off the new 2025 Forester. And while I don't particularly know Subaru individual like cars or SUVs, I know and feel like I know the brand. It's tied into wilderness. It's tied into like being active outside. They even have like a little pet section, which they've had in other years. So you're like, oh, I can take my dog for a walk. And it's just like, this is exactly what, you're looking for. They do a great job showcasing the brand in general. Sorry, dealing with some allergies here, so that's just kind of what it is. But look, they have like this beautiful LED panel all the way over there. It's nice. They do a really great job every single year. Next here we have on our left side, that is Kia. Kia does a great job at showcasing their vehicles. They have one that we talk about in the back with this big light panel that kind of like moves underneath, so it shows movement. I think that was a pretty good job on them. On our right side, we have Toyota. Now, normally I may say that sometimes brands will go and kind of just try to use up space. Unfortunately, in the last 2 years, they had to use a lot of the space as a track because there weren't many brands coming in physically. In this case, I would not call that just like the overuse of space, but it's functional because once it's going to be just regular auto enthusiasts or families and whatever, it's going to be a functional space where they can have fun. It can be more just about the vehicles. It can just be about the fun. They have skateboarding. They have basketball. They have, I'm not sure what this is. They have, can't remember. My mind is going. But they have fun things for, kids to do. It makes it more of the experience. For me, more of the experience is going to be Infiniti because I remembered why I left it for the end, because they have food, they have drinks, they have coffee, and it's just a good way just to showcase the vibe of the brand. Remember how Subaru was all about wilderness? Infiniti's all going to be about upscale kind of just like upscale living. One of my least favorites is going to be Honda, and the way that they kind of just generically showcase these cars, no spotlighting. A lot of the times it's like gray and white cars on white carpet and gray carpet. It does a disservice to the brand and the individual cars. But again, this is a brand that sells things in volume. They know that you're going to buy this regardless. They know that they already have your attention with either the functionality or the price, but it is dim. Like, this is not just the camera, it is a dim area. The carpet doesn't look good either. It's not a showcase of the car, even though this particular one does look nice. Oh, it's the Acura. Oh, I forgot, there's a little piece of Acura that I forgot to look at. This is the ZDX Type S. And I will have to come back and make videos on this. Again, a brand that sells in volume en masse. They don't need to do much. But GMC and Buick, they have one Buick here. They have a few GMC models. I'm not even interested enough to walk over there. It's kind of like a dead area. Maybe when there's more people here, it'll be something that kind of livens up. But for right now, it is the second worst in the area. We'll get to the first in a second. Polestar, they did a great job here. It is entirely white. Now, they do have spotlighting. They do have white paneling underneath, but they keep it clean. The cars themselves are white. It really is eye-catching. It's something you can see from across the venue. And I think they do a great job of just showcasing the car and making you kind of want to learn a little bit more. Although I don't know much about Polestar, but I'm going to look up the Polestar 3 and the Polestar 4 when I'm done. Just look at how bright it is. It's like you've kind of died and gone to heaven. Now another thing. All right, this is my least favorite area here. Volvo and Audi have done absolutely nothing. This is kind of what reminds me about what BMW did either last year or the previous year. An uninspired lot that nothing speaks to me. Now, this may be walled off because it is media day and not general day, but there's no information on the cars other than on the stickers. There's nothing to do. This is a disservice to the brand, and I'm really disappointed. They should have not even come. Plane should not have even come. Just like BMW in the previous year, and BMW is not here this year. That's a better option than what they did last year. And I can kind of see maybe Audi, maybe Volvo is not here next year. They probably saw, hey, we have like this tiny amount of space. Would you like to use it? Or it won't cost you that much. And maybe that's what they'll try for, but uninspired, very sad. But now we move into Hyundai, which I like these little kind of like cube blocks that they have lighting things here. It's a little bit more ambient light, but it works. This is one of my favorite ones. You can imagine just kind of like chilling. This is your home, this is your car. It's like the perfect idea of a modern setup. EV vehicle, so of course you have solar panels on the roof, but they did a good job of just kind of showcasing that. All right, so let's see, we've seen this. Let's go to one of the newer vehicles that they have. This is the Hyundai Santa Cruz 2025. Hyundai Santa Cruz, it's something that I don't know what to think about. It makes me think of the Subaru hatchback, or was it hatchback? Kind of that, that Subaru pickup from like the early 2000s. Not sure what to think about at all. But it's eye-catching, and maybe it has enough 90s nostalgia to be its own thing. But I was like, I don't know if I would never buy it, but it's something that's interesting me at least as a vehicle. By the way, in person, bulbous, but in this image, it really does a good job of kind of making it look like a little sleek sports car pickup, which I never thought I'd say anything like that. It's interesting, for sure. And I would say the most unique vehicle that we have here probably. All right, so we will go into, where are we going now? Genesis. Genesis is by far, I think, the best presentation that we have here at the show. First, we have 3 kind of like Halloween colored or inspired cars. It's beautiful the way that they have a functional car and then 2 concepts. So you can see like, and I just want to see if this is colored balanced properly. It looks a little bit overly red orange in camera. In real life, it is beautiful. It is a great looking vehicle here. Man, the way that they showcase these vehicles and the colors that they choose, generally, really good. They've done a really good job here. This is the Genesis Neolun concept. This is the one where I mentioned that the interior is a little bit purple. Oh, and wow, they even have purple drinks. That's interesting. Purple, not in the way that I like it. I like a deep royal purple. They didn't choose the right coloring for me. Just didn't really work out. But then here are 3 cars which I think they did a great job at just presenting. What is this? This is the GV80 Coupe. This is the GV80, I believe. GV70 and GV60. Like, just look at the environment of this. You can chill, you can have a drink, you can just sit down, you can just kind of live in here. You can look at this in a different environment from just kind of walking around. You can just relax, have a beat, and enjoy this. A different way to kind of look at the cars here. I remember looking at Lexus and I was like, I don't like what they're doing with the grille. It's just not something I'm a fan of. Lexus, like the RX, and I believe this is the TX. RX is the standard, maybe back in the early 2000s in Northern Virginia suburbs. That works here. I don't think it's something that would work in the city. And again, I have to speak on that because I live here and that's just kind of what we have to deal with. I have to remember to go back to Infiniti because I always forget that. But we are going to take a look at Toyota here, which, you know, Toyota cars. There's a Mr. Metz inspired Toyota over there, which is kind of fun. They have a New York Yankees one on the front here. And it's just, you kind of know what to expect with these cars. They are functional. They sell so many of these every single year. And again, they did not need to present it this way. But compared to Chevy, compared to Ford, they presented this much better, I would say, and they continue to do so every single year. You don't need to do much to make your car look nice at an auto show, but they do exactly what's needed, and I'm happy. Like, whenever I take a look at these, I'm happy. Oh, and here we have the Yankees decaled, what is the Prius Prime? It's okay. I like a little bit deeper blue, honestly. Maybe the color's a little bit off for me. But that is, by the way, Yankees over Mets for me at the very least. But this is like the Yankees inspired one. And I think that's almost it. VW, they have like an old VW Beetle, which was pretty. And I liked that because my godmother had that. They have the newer van. But outside of that, like, these are just vehicles that, for a time, VW was pretty popular. I haven't fallen off, but they're just not as hyped up as they were before. But there's that VW Beetle over there, which I think is beautiful, and I like that. All right, so we are going to finish off going back to Infiniti, a brand that I have forgotten to look at now twice. But guys, if you have any comments, questions, anything that you want to see in particular, please put that in the comments section below. I would love to take a look at these things. We are probably going to have maybe about 50 videos coming out. It's going to be a lot. My feet hurt. My voice is rough. But we're walking through this. We also have another day tomorrow, and I'm not sure. I may come back here. If I miss something else, I may come back here. But yeah, they have the Infiniti kind of comfy suite. They always do a good job. Like, I always like the environment that they have. For me, Infiniti is not the favorite brand that I have, but it's something that's been consistent. They do exactly what they need to. And as far as I can tell, I remember my friend having a 2008 Infiniti and it not being so much different from what's in my mind with this. I don't really... Oh, and here is like the area that I will be going to after the fact. They're showcasing the Infiniti QX80, the 2025 Infiniti QX80. We'll be taking a look at that in a second, but this is rounding out the general walkthrough. I like it. I like the vibe. I've liked this kind of in general. I've been happy. Anyway, guys, I think that rounds everything out. I think we've looked at everything. We haven't missed anything. But yeah, if you have any comments, questions, anything, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Threads at M8B9. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time.